I am very excited to share with you that we have a wonderful panel of 3 community leaders who I will be asking to provide us with insight into what is important to them when forming relationships with government and tips that they have for us in doing that work. First, we have Sandra Torres, president and co-founder of El Puente Hispano in Concord, North Carolina, who is also a member of this Language Access Collaborative. Welcome, Sandra. El Puente helps connect and integrate Hispanics in Cabarrus County into the community by bridging the communication gap between the Latino population and local governments and agencies, and developing programs that promote equity and inclusion. Next, we will hear from 2 community leaders working with Refugee Community Partnership, a grassroots organization working with immigrants and refugees across central North Carolina. RCP sees community members as experts and civic architects and focuses on relationships and mutual aid in creating a strong and vibrant community. Atiqullah Pardisi is RCP's Afghan coordinator, and Norbert Runyambo is a Congolese community leader working closely with RCP in Carrboro and surrounding areas. So first, I'd like to ask the panel, how do you want the government to interact with your community?
Concord is a demographic community. It's very diverse, and we try to find strategies that involve and connect the community, the immigrant community. Some local governments are looking for more strategies to engage and integrate immigrant populations. I always get calls from governments and other agencies asking me to help them connect with the Latino community. And the first thing I tell them is that they have to truly intend to connect with these communities and not do it because it's trendy. We have to have that intention always.
Encantaría que todos los gobiernos vieran a la comunidad latina como algo.
So how would I like to them to interact with communities? I would like for these governments and agencies to see immigrant communities as something good and not as a problem. I'd love for them to realize that they're hardworking and resilient communities that move industries, both as workers and consumers. I know that I am a big consumer. I buy things all the time. I shop all the time, and community members in the Latino community are consumers. So I would also love for the need for the communication with the Latino community to be because the Latinos are at the planning table and not just like things when COVID happens and someone scratches their head and is like, oops, we forgot to do something for the Latino community. How can we resolve this? So Latinos need to be at the planning table so that we are not just, running around looking for resources to communicate with that community when there is a crisis happening. I would also like for the information to come to them in a way that can be understood in Spanish and at an appropriate language level. Oftentimes, the more educated, formally educated translators or Latinos will write things in a very overly sophisticated way, and we need to use appropriate language who is appropriate for people who don't have a lot of formal education or who have a really sophisticated vocabulary so that's accessible to everyone. We need to also go to where people are. We need to go to trailer parks. We need to go to places where people pray and where people are. We can't wait for someone to just put something that was Google translated out to the community. We need to make sure the language is appropriate and goes directly to the community where people are at. I would also love to not have to, use these check boxes where it's like, I've got someone in our, the checkbox for we have one Hispanic person on our committee, or I said hi to 3 Latinos at the grocery store today. Check, check, check. You know, we want to be in an inclusive, welcoming place where people feel like they belong and that it's in a authentic sense of belonging. It's the same sense of belonging that we are that we were able to create with the City of Concord and the Hispanic Bridge, and we came together for the Concord International Festival. It's an annual event that celebrates diversity and multiculturalism and promotes an integrated community, so that people can learn about each other, and it fosters dialogue and collaboration. So, you know, we've got in those festivals, you know, we've got people dancing, and we've got, you know, people from India, Black people, white people, Latinos, all dancing together to the same song. So that's what we want. We want an integrated community. We want to learn about other cultures and collaborate, foster dialogue. So thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. And Norbert, same question for you. How do you want the government to interact with your community?
Murakoze cyane kuntumira kuri panel yanyu. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be part of the panel. I'm Norbert Runyambo. I work with RCP. We support the immigrant community when they have issues, when they are sick or any other problem. What can make our community to connect with the local government? The first thing is it's for the community to know who are the leaders before they met him, to get to know them, who they are. I'm one of the leaders in the community of immigrants who came from Congo, the Banyamulenge community. We speak the Kinyarwanda, the Swahili, and French. We have a lot of community in more than 30 states. In each state, they have a leader who have been voted by the community. And on top of all the state leaders, we have one leader who coordinates all the states, all the Banyamulenge community in the United States. So as you can understand, those leaders knows their community. They have power to make the community understand what the leadership wants. So we fled from a country where it's the leadership that chased us. So we fled the leadership, the people who were in power. So when we got here, some came as refugees brought by the US government, some came by their own, but when we got here, so the only leaders, the leaders that we know, it's the resettlement agencies and the police. Those are the leaders that we've met. Those help us to get IDs, social security, and helping kids to go to school, and helping the community to get their first job. And after 1 year, they don't have any contact with any leadership because the agencies does not help them anymore, and the community lived by their own without any connection with the leadership. That's a general problem for all the immigrants. So how can we be connected with the local governments? The first thing is that the leaders in the local government may come and meet the community leaders. So our community, we are mostly religious. So We meet in churches and different places. So we meet there mostly on Sundays and other times. So the leaders from the local government can come and meet us and have the opportunity to know us in those meetings. The problem that I'm trying to mention here, the leaders does not know the community. They don't know, they don't take the opportunity to come and explain to the community what they're supposed to do as volunteering, and what are the program for the children in the community. So we are in the community, but we don't know what is happening in the community where we live. So that's why the first thing we would like to see is to see the local government leaders coming down and meet our communities, understand their experiences. Most of these people in our community have a lot of experiences that are not being used and exploited for the benefit of the American community, or experienced by the leaders. So the local government leadership have a big role to play in coming closer, in getting closer to the community and making to understand the community that they have a place in this country, they have a place in the community. We have children who are the future of this country. We have skills. We have people who are educated, but they've put all that knowledge down because they don't know what to do. And all they do, they just go do the manufacturing job, and they don't use the potential that they have in them. So we would like to see the leaders coming closer, giving us time, and the community giving time for us to connect. So we only know the higher leaders, and they understand that we fled a bad leadership, so they should come closer to us instead of letting us only interact with the police.
Thank you so much, Norbert. All right, Atiqullah, same question, and welcome. How do you want the government to interact with your community?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the invitation. So since more Afghans have been arriving to North Carolina, and the Afghans that they are living in North Carolina for years, they decided to form an organization called Afghan American Association of North Carolina. And we have board members as well as leaders in the areas where Afghans are living. We have WhatsApp groups, and through WhatsApp groups, we are sharing information and concerns with our communities. So I think it would be great for the government to connect with those leaders and establish ongoing relationships, so we can share concerns with them and they can share information with us in both directions. And I have the contact information for the leaders. If anyone is interested, I'm willing to share that. And also the other way will be the celebration of events that in our culture we have Eids and Nowruz or New Year, that these are the big events that Afghans are celebrating and they are getting together. So I think that would be the other great way that they can meet the community leaders and share concerns and information with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Atiqullah. Wonderful.